I'm John Skinner, and this video supplements Chapter 11 in my book Fishing the Bucktail. The book covers bucktailing from surf and boat for a variety of species, including fluke, bluefish, and striped bass. I'm fishing shallow water on a Long Island South Shore bay, approximately 5 to 8 feet of water. I have some difficult conditions here because I have wind blowing against the current. The wind is blowing from behind me, the current is basically coming on my bow, and as a result I'm not moving at all. My GPS was actually giving me a drift speed of like 0.1 miles an hour. I was pretty much stationary. The good news was that I knew there were fish around because this was the end of a trip where on the incoming tide I had nice conditions and I was vertical jigging for fluke, and that video was on my YouTube channel and I did very well. But when the tide changed and the wind was against the current, I was dead still. So to deal with that, I started casting across the current in order so that I could cover some ground, and that worked out very well. I'm casting with 15-pound braided line. My leader is 20 pounds, has fluorocarbon. At the end of the fluorocarbon leader is a perfection loop with a 3/4 ounce Spro bucktail, and 1 foot above that is a dropper loop with a 3/0 Gamakatsu bait saber hook. Both of those hooks are tipped with 4-inch Berkley Gulp Alive swimming mullets. I normally use this rig for vertical jigging, but as I mentioned, I have poor drift conditions, so I'm casting in order to cover some ground. But I often get questions from people who see my vertical jigging videos and ask whether that same rig could be used for casting from the shore or off a pier or a dock or so forth. And this really illustrates that because it's very similar. I mean, I happen to be stationary here. I'm sitting in a kayak, but if I was on a dock or casting from the shore, I'd be using the same technique. Just cast out, and I'm still imparting that rapid jigging motion and a retrieve that just keeps that rig moving pretty close to the bottom. And I'm in roughly 7-8 feet of water right now, and that doesn't take much to keep it just gliding across the bottom, and it's deadly on fluke. Whether you're jigging from a boat or casting this rig, it works very well. The hits feel a little bit different casting than if I was vertical jigging. So what I'm doing here is I'm tapping the bottom a little bit, but I'm pretty much swimming it probably within a couple inches of the bottom. And many times the hits feel like just slack in the line because the fish come up behind it and they grab it and they keep moving. You'll feel that slack, and when you feel the slack, you want to set the hook. Another difference with casting versus vertical jigging is that when you hook a fish, the size of the fish can be pretty deceiving, because when you're pulling the fish towards you at that flatter angle when you're casting, it may not feel like much, and you could be pretty surprised when you get it up to the kayak, and that's going to be the case with this one.